We didn't practice this. Oh no, we're not doing that. All right. I thought we were doing season 11 already. I was like, wait a second, we didn't practice this. Sorry, this is a I know, hold on. You're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Just feel like you don't hit it enough.
Hard enough?
Yeah.
Well, look, he took my job away, people.
No, I just want to do it today. You're gonna be doing it. You're gonna be doing it moving forward. But I even put the headphones on. It's been that long.
I know it's been a while since we did one of these.
All right, cool.
Are you gonna hit it?
No, you gotta open the show. You see what we're forgetting?
But it's not a regular show, so we're gonna go over. This is a post workshop, right? That's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, recap.
Recap. Thank you. Oh, hold on.
You nervous?
It's a recap. No, not really. I just forgot. You know how my brain already is a little. So coming back to this after not doing it for.
I mean, I do that to women, you know. And you work with me.
Yes.
Next to me, and you still get like that. So imagine women who are just getting to know me.
You poor souls. Anyway, all right. So this is a recap for the Divine Disciplines Workshop BDSM Masterclass.
All right. Let me do this quick.
All right.
Clear the energy. Inhale life. Exhale strife. Out with the negative, bad energy. Inviting the good and positive energy. Also, inviting the ancestors. And I want to put it in here. So when I edit, it could still be heard. Remember, when I put the noise gate on, it's like you barely hear it. Build serotonin in their brain, dopamine, healing. Okay.
All right.
All right. So
Saturday.
First and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for coming.
Yes.
The people that told me that they were going to come. Some people left early. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I haven't done something for 4 hours straight in a while.
But also, don't forget, Saturday we had flood warnings. You know, it was bad weather, and they came out still.
So I want to thank everybody for that. Well, not 4 hours straight. Technically, I give them a 30-minute break.
Yes.
So three and a half. But it was long. So, I thank everybody for coming. Thank you for those silent investors, private investors, donating handsomely. Thank you people who donated, who didn't show up or who couldn't show up, whatever their circumstance was, because, no refunds. So just like I told people there, like, this may not be something you're going to use, but you might, if you're a single man, you might encounter a sub. So now you have a little bit more education, vice versa. Single woman encountering a dom. Because like I said there, this is not a topic I was going to say contest. This is not a podcast topic. This is not an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you anxious to get into it.
No.
This is not an opinion. This is actually a real lifestyle, real people engage in it.
Exactly.
So I told people, like, you bound to run into some type of guy that might be living this, that doesn't even know he's living this or his identity. He might be a dominant person, you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't know that. He just based off his ethnicity, maybe race, perhaps being in a low income environment where he's constantly seeing things. Now he has PTSD. You know what I'm saying? Never went to therapy. Doesn't know himself. You're going to run into it. Yeah. And it might be seen as controlling. And he doesn't know himself. So it's like everything that I said, even there, our personality, our zodiac sign, rising, sun, all that stuff matters in what our personality. There's a personality name for everything that we are. You know what I'm saying? So like I told them, like, even if you think you're not going to engage in this, you're going to get something out of this here. That's number one. Number two, if they encounter this, they know how to now make the proper discernment. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and they're also going to have some education behind it. They're not going to be like blindsided. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. So that was that. Like I said, I already have your money, so you might as well come here and learn something for your time.
Definitely.
You know, so you could get into that. I'm gonna get into some of the critiques some people had that were there. But go into that because that we always build perhaps the next workshop
Based
off
off of
of
these, yep.
those.
These are the surveys. So the surveys are, how would you rate the workshop from very satisfied, or, satisfied, dissatisfied to very dissatisfied. And I'm very pleased to say that all of them have very satisfied, just like the last one. We are satisfiers. And then it's, how likely would you recommend the workshop to a friend or colleague? It's from 1 to 5. I'm assuming 5 being very, very
Satisfying.
likely. And again, everybody put 4s and 5s. So that's good. All right. But I want to go down to, there's an area where they can write, what other topics would you like to see discussed in future workshops? Most of these are anonymous. So someone wrote vulnerability as a dominant. I think that's a very interesting topic that they'd want to hear. And they heard about us through Eventbrite. So that's cool.
I'm going to assume that's a woman.
Why would you assume that's a woman?
Because men are not thinking about vulnerability in general.
Okay.
I don't hear a lot of men talk about vulnerability.
Another person wrote for what other topics? Let's say you interact with a masochist and aren't prepared to handle the level of intimacy she desires. How does one overcome that hurdle? If one is to lose this masochist, how would one attract them back? Oh.
Him back or her?
Them, sorry.
Them
Them
back?
back. Yep.
That's
That
a tough one.
That's a good ass
as far
question.
as if I was male or female. Like I don't know if that could be a
I mean,
female.
can we do both? Like,
no,
if it's
that specific person who wrote that.
Oh,
remember,
yeah,
they're
no, I don't know.
anonymous.
Right. So I guess
let me
when
see
we
it. Let me see it.
when we address it, we can do both. If it's a man that lost a masochist and how to attract them back, and vice versa, I guess. That's a really good question. I mean, topic.
I'm gonna assume it's a man because she desires whatever she desires. However, we don't know if there was lesbians in there.
That's true.
We don't know we don't know if that was also a woman saying it from, her perspective, maybe of like looking at it as like I would attract a man. So she's writing it like in a sense of you as a man. I want to know your opinion as a man because I'm this. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? How would you jump that hurdle? Lose this masochist and attract them back.
That's one that got me. How do you attract them back?
You wouldn't be able to. Because the thing is, like, if they're masochists, they need to say this.
If they already lost them, that relationship is because they're not a sadist. They couldn't, I guess, rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
But do you think somebody could eventually learn to do that? I guess that's what they're asking.
To get the masochist back.
Yeah, like that would be the answer. You'd have to learn how to be a sadist. Or pull those tendencies that you have, if you have it out of you.
Yeah, but you know what it comes down to?
Being comfortable with what you can do.
Yeah. Some people don't have the stomach for certain things. See what I'm saying? So in a way, like, you could love them with every fiber of their being. If they have a desire, you could do one or two things. You could become a cuckold. You know what that is?
Yes, I do.
And you could allow her to do that with other guys, but don't leave her, don't divorce her. Because like you love her and maybe you put her on a pedestal and her happiness is more than yours. So you're like, I don't want a divorce. Let her do that with somebody else so she could get that because she feels that something is like void and I'm inadequate. You see what I'm saying? That's the way of keeping her. But the reality is, if you're not giving her that, if you don't have the stomach for that, it's not gonna work because that is part of her identity, whether she's conscious of it or not. It's part of her identity. And she will only sacrifice it for so long. She cannot give it up forever. Like she would say that she might. And just like a man, he could say he might, the whole monogamy and stuff. Oh, I'll never do it again, baby. I'll never do it again. But it's in him. It has nothing to do with her. Right. It's just him. It's not that she's inadequate. She's not enough. Right. She, what else women usually say? You don't love me if you got eyes for other people. Like, I'm not enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm not special. Like, whatever. It's not even her. It's just him. So it's the same thing with that desire that she has. She might say she'll give it up to be vanilla, have a regular relationship, get
Right.
married, white picket fence and stuff, but eventually she's gonna
Go back to
go
that.
back to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Writers write about it all the time, and that's why
Yeah.
we have films and shows
Yep.
that
That's
see
true.
it because
Because it
probably
happens.
the writers experience it. So like it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like oxygen for some people.
Mm.
So you could say, oh, here's a perfect one. The Popeye character.
Yeah.
Popeye could not function. He could not dominate without spinach. Once he
Mm.
had spinach, his arms blew up.
You just want to do that.
So like, yeah. So once he had spinach, his arms blew up.
Yeah.
So he could not engage without it.
Right.
You ain't ever see an episode where he didn't
Right.
have the spinach.
That's true.
And then he turned up. So it's a requirement. He could sacrifice it, but it's just like how some people just need coffee every day
Right.
because they built that addiction. Once I said this in book 3, Discipline's World, once you've experienced darkness,
That's a good book. They're all good.
light is mundane. Light, you understand what I'm saying? Like it's like, yo, you know, some people say once you go black, you know the rest. Like once you've seen this, it's like, ooh, once you've opened my mind to conspiracies, I can't think like, these indoctrinations. I gotta unlearn, uncondition, relearn now. Like you open me up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, what's gonna have to happen is the communication, and then if it can't be like, baby, like, is this something that's really important to you?
I would assume that they would, whoever has to like hold back would start resenting their partner first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Can a cuckold, and I think I asked you this before, can a woman be a cuckold too?
Queen, they call them.
Oh, but that's a thing?
Yeah.
How interesting. All right.
So she might like hearing about it or watching it.
That is so
which I think most women like that.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Most women
I think
they
I'm
like lesbian,
because I don't mind
stuff.
And hearing and watching, I think I could watch.
They like lesbian stuff.
Well, they have lesbian tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're curious. By eso.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, here's another one. For another topic they'd like to see discussed. The agenda, rabbit holes of trying to take the man out of the home and make the woman dependent on the government. That's a good one. Look at it. Somebody
That's
said,
intense.
what? Yeah, that's intense. We got like 2 really good, not that they're not all good. Here's another topic. Types of positions, toys, etc. And they put they're extremely likely to tell a friend about one of our.
They didn't like that I didn't talk
Great
about
job.
that. Oh yeah, I mean, I told them I wasn't gonna really do that. I think if I do a part 2, you know, maybe I could get more into the toys.
That's
they
funny
were there.
That's funny you just said that because this one says what other topics? Part 2 of this topic. Okay. Yeah. And it was very informative. Yes, it was. I mean, if you guys don't know him by now, he's an educator. He loves to teach and show.
The types of positions and toys, that would have to be an interactive one. Maybe not a class.
What do you mean interactive one?
What's like that? I get everybody's opinion. Like, what have you ever done? What have you ever done? You know, and then talk about it. Kama Sutra. You know how the Indians, Muslims, Saudi Arabian, Middle Eastern countries took over. You know, so that would have to be in the positions list as well. Tantra, sex, all that in the positions. Bullet.
That's so weird that you said that. This one said, in the please provide us with additional feedback. Somehow have group sessions. Maybe where people discuss ideas. That's a good idea. This one said for other topics, building tolerance or levels. I guess tolerance levels and motivation.
Building tolerance levels.
I guess for like impact play or something like that. Like to be able to take pleasure, more. I guess. All right. Oh, somebody wants to know more about polygamy and multiple partners.
Oh, that's hard and soft limits. I'm still looking at the last one. Building tolerance levels.
Oh,
hard and soft limits.
Yeah.
What did it say? Polygamy. Yeah, I was thinking about the next workshop.
It says polyamory. Oh my lord.
Yeah, with multiple partners. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
that's
said,
different.
yeah,
Polyamory, solo polyamory, multiple polyamory, polygamy. They're all different
mm,
things.
yeah. I think that
Polyamory
I
doesn't
think they
necessarily mean polygamy.
right. I think people
Polygamy
are
is
interested in it because they don't know
multiple
how to
wives,
distinguish. Yes,
and polyamory could be with a girlfriend,
they said
multiple girlfriends.
the workshop was very informative in all subjects discussed. That's nice. And this one didn't. These two didn't write. Well, this one said live podcast with Suhei. Hello, people.
Cool, cool.
Okay, Mike, you want to
All
do
right,
that?
so some critiques. Let me see. Good voice projection, good eye contact. Let me see. Let me
Yeah,
see.
but your voice, how could it not project well? It's very,
Got into the topic quickly.
no dilly dallying over here. Okay.
1 minus was right script beforehand. You know what's crazy? Like, remember when I said I had my notes in the front by the podium? I'll memorize them. I just kept
Yeah.
walking around, like sitting in the audience. I had a chair over there, I was sitting down. I was in the back. Like I was in the audience. Like
Yeah.
I hated sitting in one place for so long. Like I had to move around.
Yeah.
So I guess like when I was off topic. Because I
It
do my
could be me.
motivational sometimes
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
stuff,
true.
and I was talking about habit, how habit kind
That's
of
true.
reaches you to
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
goals, not having goals
Yeah.
and setting a
Yeah.
action
You
plan.
even
It's
said it
habit.
though. You're like, I gotta stop this motivational
Yeah,
shit.
this ain't the podcast of motivation. So let's jump back into it. Let me see. Let me see. Lights and incense was good. Good atmosphere.
For those who didn't come, y'all missed it.
Maybe come out with the lights out.
Oh, dimmed maybe? We couldn't shut it off.
Yeah, totally off. Raised slightly for presentation. Nah, I didn't want to shut it off in the beginning. I had
No,
my
because it would have been
suit on, yo. Wanted people to see me. Then in the second half, I switched up. Or streetwear, and this
You
is the
guys should know how
store.
he
The
does.
store.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline therapy dot launchcart dot store slash shop for the
Yeah.
store. Let me
I got a
see.
lot of feedback and for the shirts that we made for the BDSM. It's in the categories in the store under BDSM. So those shirts came out so good. I got so many people saying, "Where can I get them?" I was like, "Go onto the store."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kind of
Yeah,
like
there's
how
a
you
whole
have
bunch
it.
of a whole bunch of stuff that's dope. We created, and then
Yeah.
the material is dope. Let me see. Plus was history of Kama Sutra and Shibari. I gave more of a history. They're saying,
Shibari is the rope.
yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
originated in Japan.
Yeah. I remember the couple of times you said
Yeah,
it before. I was like, "What is that?"
I said at the shop.
Yeah.
I said at the shop masterclass.
Yeah.
I want to say masterclass more. You know, because it was that.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you like my definition when I introduced you of
what?
what a master class was?
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah, I said at the master class that America is late. It has
Yep.
been late with
With
technology, with
everything,
this, with
medical.
you know what I'm saying. So I know I wanted to get into the history of all this before we even talk about what the acronym BDSM means.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause there were frequent questions asked of where did it originate from?
Mm-hmm.
Why was it out? You know, this
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. So, um, why did is it even existing?
Mm-hmm.
So they like that. Plus demographic breakdown is cool. Plus safe word breakdown sounded very informative. Plus BDSM acronyms is cool. And different types of relationships.
Mm.
Maybe spice up each slide with more colors and pictures. Not doing that.
Yeah.
I like the way they looked.
Me too.
And to me it's more focused on, I'm not a girl, no disrespect, I'm not a girl, so I'm not gonna fancy it up. You know me, I'm just focused on playing.
Why would there be disrespect?
Because a lot of girls are like that. Oh, let me make this look so beautiful and stuff. Like me, I'm focused on playing what it
What's under?
is,
Me
what's
too. I
on
like it,
it. Like,
everything uniform. If it's blue, it gotta be blue all the way
you know what I'm
down.
saying? So, like, for me personally, like, it's just like I told them. I know I'm handsome and I got a nice body, but you're not here for that. You're here for the education. That's why I walked around a lot. Because it's like, yo, don't look at me. Look at TV.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, like it's the message that is there. But
Right, not the sender.
I'm not gonna like do like, oh, fancy clothes. Like I respect the opinion and
Right,
the critique, but I'm telling you, like there are certain things like I could read people and be like, oh, they got a point. Let me do that. And then there's
right.
other stuff where I'm gonna be stubborn and be like,
Yeah.
hey, you ain't here for good looking stuff,
Slides.
slides and shit. Like
Just close your eyes and listen to what the man's saying.
exactly, like an audio book.
Exactly.
Plus sign was not just reading off slides, giving stories and examples and
People
experiences.
love stories, especially your
That's
stories.
what I do best.
He's an author, people.
Let me see. Minus didn't spend too much time on age play. Yeah,
Interesting.
I was right to the point what it was and
Yeah. I
gave a
wonder
couple
what
of
more they want to know about
examples.
it because yeah, you said.
Let's see. But
Mm,
that's fair. That's fair.
I guess you could go back
I'm
and
to
touch
say.
upon it on another
Like I
topic.
said, I'm thinking of doing a part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Before the poly one. Let's see. Plus was highlighted differences between
Oh, I
it says DV and
domestic
BDSM.
violence.
Oh, domestic violence. Okay. Oh, I get
That
it.
was
I
really
get it.
good.
Because I
Yeah.
said it was borderline domestic violence and that's why consent is very important. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it can't just be she's inebriated and she's saying yes. It can't just be flirting was
Right.
consent. It can't
Right.
just be she said one time yes and that's consent all the time.
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
just mean we had sex before and that's consent. Like it doesn't mean that, oh, you're not going anywhere because I said so. You gotta let her go.
Right.
You gotta let the door be open because it's all about consent and what we do. What we do is not regular and we don't do what regular people do, especially that in the bedroom. So it's
Yeah.
borderline that. Like when a woman asks for erotic asphyxiation, like that is
Yeah,
that.
that
So
is.
that like consent is very important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trust, all that stuff.
And
So
vetting. Because you don't want to that because that's what you said at the shop too, at the masterclass
yeah,
too.
but that's what I do best. Like I bring the technicals, then I make people think. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, I guarantee people like, oh shit, that's
Mm-hmm.
right what he's saying.
Yeah,
Because
especially when
it
you
could
said
be
that.
it's out there subconsciously. But now
Mm-hmm.
when people bring it to the mirror again, you're like, yeah, how did that fly over my head? You
I
know what I'm
remember
saying?
at the masterclass, like when you said that, because that was also a slide. And when you explained it like that, you heard, oh, like kind of everybody like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Any questions? I said. Everybody understands.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
said, who has a question? Because I switched it up. Because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, nobody's gonna raise their hands when I said any questions. Okay, so who has a question?
Yeah.
You know, or I said, who doesn't understand this? Instead of because I switched it up. One
Yeah.
slide I said,
Mm-hmm.
everybody understand? Any questions? They get it. Now the second one, who doesn't understand?
Right.
Raise their hands.
Who needs clarification?
Yeah. Incense smelled well
Yummy.
throughout. Good distinction between kink and fetish.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that was really good.
break down different classes and sets. Just to give a brief on the kinks and the fetishes, and then we'll get into the topics for next season. Like I said out there, just to give examples, role playing, activity, practice. That's kink.
Oh, okay.
So a woman who wants to be submissive is a kink. A woman who
Interesting.
wants erotic asphyxiation is a kink. The difference between vanilla sex and BDSM is regular doesn't have any kink in it.
Mm.
So fetish is a body part or whatever. I got a fetish for the stones. It may not just be entirely directed towards sex. It could be a big butt.
Mm.
It could be a big dick. It could be
A foot fetish.
black skin. Not
Mm-hmm.
black skin, melanin or chocolate, darker
Mm-hmm.
skin. That could be a fetish. Lighter skin. That could be a fetish. A race could be a fetish.
Foot fetish.
Ethnicity could be a fetish. A foot could be a fetish. Hands could be a fetish. So those were the distinctions that I gave. I hate to just read the dictionary or Google. I gotta understand it. So if I understand it, I know how to teach it.
Exactly.
And I can make you understand it because I can bring it down in layman's terms. You know,
that's true. You're very good at that.
So I do my best not to use Harvard, words because I like people to understand. So if I use a word like that, then I gotta explain it.
Exactly.
And so I'm not like into being that guy that saying great things,
right,
but you're not making any sense.
right. It doesn't.
I don't even know
understand it.
that
Yeah,
word, and I
exactly.
don't know that word, and I don't know that word.
It almost kind of sounds pretentious when some people do it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
lot of people could sound smart. They're not really smart.
Exactly. And you guys missed this.
So let's see. Yeah, those are dope. Still using those.
Our pen, because it
All
says
right.
the Discipline Therapy Podcast.
All right. So next season date will be to be announced. Definitely mid to late June. Guest callers. Working on that. Episode 111. Challenge her mentally, support him emotionally. Okay. 112. Why are men taught how to treat women, but there's no classes on or education for women how to treat men. 113. Do we all really desire equality or special treatment?
That's a good one. Let's see how honest. Ooh, I hope we have a caller for that. See how honest she is.
114. What's a whole phase?
What's a whole phase?
Yeah. I don't. It's like for me, like I wanna try to put both in it, but I don't believe it could be both.
What, man and woman?
Yeah. So we'll get into it, but I don't believe it could be both. Like I don't believe a man is like those man whores or man could be a hoe. So
well, what if it's a man? Maybe you're seeing it on the perspective of because you wouldn't just fucking run. You know what I mean? That sounded so awful, but you try to have a connection. What if it's those men that just don't care, have a one night stand and keep it pushing? Never like would you consider that like a hoe man?
No.
A hoe man?
No. Because the thing is, like that word was created for a specific gender. Wasn't really created for like equal. A man who sleeps with a lot of women is not a hoe. He's a hoe.
What's a gigolo?
He's a hoe maker.
What's a gigolo? That's strictly male. That's a man whore, a man prostitution, a man prostitution.
That's male prostitution, but that's not a hoe. He's just his job. He could be doing what a lot of men are doing, but now he's getting paid for it. He's doing it professionally.
Okay. What's the next topic?
He's not getting passed around. He's getting paid to probably pleasure.
Yeah.
That's like a almost like those sexual dominants who do it professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if him getting paid to pleasure? What if it's like it's like a sex party?
The female prostitute is getting paid to be used, like literally.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. What if it's like an older wealthy woman and she has some of her friends there, and when she's done with him, she's like, all right, go over there now.
She's still giving them pleasure.
Gotcha. All right.
Because there's only so much things like a woman could do to a man to give him pleasure.
That's true.
Unless like he's like gonna transition submissive, like a lot of the governors of states have done. They're in dominant roles, but they want to be tied up and spanked and stuff
That's
and dominated. For the woman, like she's being used literally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I look at it. So I don't believe like that could be for a man.
Okay.
I think he's the maker. Because he's the penetrator. And the feminine is the receiver. Even with the genital organs.
Gotcha.
Why do most people have a big list of what they want versus what they bring to the table? Well, this is both men and women. This is 116 now. Why is it easier to blame the man when the relationship fails? 117, why does our society empower women and not men?
That's a good one.
118, we talk about male privilege and white privilege, but what about beauty privilege?
Oh, I have a good one for that one.
119, why are most people notorious for being fashionably late? What are pet peeves for opposite sex, male and women? I want to get some callers for some of this stuff. 120, do men and women prefer the chase or the catch?
Oh,
So we'll probably talk about men. Do they prefer the chase or the catch? And then women. Do they prefer the chase or the catch? Season 11 finale. Do you think more abuse comes from men or women?
ooh, damn, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Well, that's
We
pretty
got some
dope.
good
Mhm.
topics.
What did you think about the workshop? What did you like about last season? What do you want to do forward?
First of all, last season, the masterclass kind of took over my brain. As soon as we ended last season, that's it. I can't even remember last season.
Mhm.
But as far as the masterclass, I'm happy with the turnout. I'm happy with how everything looked when I walked in the morning. You know, they had it nice and set up so good. So it just I was happy with the overall aesthetic of it. Um, you know, I was proud of you and how you. I know I couldn't be up there for 4 hours. Well, with the break in between, and just talk. So that always, whenever I see somebody do that, it's that's it's impressive for me. So you're so calm, and you just take things with stride, and it's like nothing. It's like breathing for you. I had to introduce you, and I stumbled on a couple of words. But I think I did pretty good on myself. I mean, I'm proud of myself too. I think I recovered quickly, and I think I'm getting better on the mic.
Yeah.
I was happy
It's
with everything.
different. It's different because you could be absorbing other people's energy. It's different.
Mm,
Public speaking is not a it's
I
not an
am not
easy
a
thing to
public.
do, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When you talk over the phone, it's a different energy. When you're in person, it's definitely a different energy. Then when
Hmm.
you're in front of a microphone, in front of a camera, it's a different energy. Then when you're actually in person, it's a different energy. When you're live, it's a different
Ugh,
energy. If you go through one thing and it's rough, it's gonna be harder for the rest
what
because
you
it's
mean?
different things you gotta absorb.
What do you mean
You
it's
know what
gonna
I'm
be
saying?
harder for the rest? The rest of who? The rest of the
In
people?
studio,
Oh
lives,
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
phone, you know what I'm saying?
But I think from the first one, I think I was way better. Because the first one was
Yeah,
I was like nauseous
yeah,
thinking about it.
yeah,
It was literally for the very first workshop. I was like, I have to do what? It was so I have to introduce you. But with this
yeah.
one,
You
I was
wanted
more
to.
comfortable. I wanted to
You
because I
wanted
wanted
to.
to get out of my comfort zone.
You wanted to. Yeah.
Because I thought that would help me more, like when we do lives,
Mm-hmm.
which it did.
Mm-hmm. I loved the part where I said if you wanna test a man's character, give him power. If you
Mm,
wanna test a woman's character, give her freedom. I'm not gonna mention his name, but he had said he agreed with that and he gave an example. But
mm-hmm.
then another person,
A
well, I'll say
woman.
a woman,
Mm-hmm.
um, thought it was negative.
But I
Like
think she
she
thought the statement itself was negative.
and what he said.
Exactly.
Remember how I say women
Mm-hmm.
and men hear different things?
Things, yeah.
So he might have said something, and then you picked one part of that, and everything else you got deaf to because you got
Mm-hmm.
triggered.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to help her out and say,
Yeah.
no, 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 he's not saying it like that. You got to look at the context, and what it's saying is character for both.
Mm-hmm.
Women never had freedom. This is how I explained it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Women never had freedom. So now that they do,
What are
see
they gonna
what
do
they
with it?
do. That's going to
Yeah.
let you know if they have morals, values, and integrity. Men always had power, but specifically what we were talking about, what does he do with the power that a woman relinquishes to him?
Mm-hmm.
Submission. Is he going to cherish it? Is he going to value it? Is he going to
Mm-hmm.
take care of it, protect it? That's power.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how is he when he's leading a nation? A man with a plan can lead a land.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So what is he doing? How is he? Is he just thinking selfishly or for the whole team?
Mm.
And when he provides, does he provide for himself or for the whole kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
see what I'm saying? It comes down to specifically America. Me, that I do that all the time,
Mm-hmm.
especially with women. I watch their character. You're not getting reprimanded for being on social media. 1, 2,
No, you're getting paid for it.
you're not getting reprimanded for posting because you
Mhm.
see other women aren't. They aren't losing sponsors. Celebrities are doing it. They're not losing sponsors. They're not losing whatever it is. So
Mhm.
now on top of that, let's get even out of that. Women can fuck whoever they want now. Women could take birth control. They could fuck with raw, with
Mhm.
strangers that they don't know. They could be doing all of these things. They make their own money. They could do this. They could travel. See now what they're doing that displays that they may not have integrity, morals, values, any type of tradition. That lets you know their character.
Mhm. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why there's labels on certain women because that lets you know their character. A man, does he stay true to his word?
Yep.
Does he do what he say he gonna do? Does he you know what I'm saying? Like, cause he got this power already. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He could do all of these things because he already has the power. So what is he doing with that power? That's gonna show you his character.
Mhm. Definitely.
Season 11 is gonna be amazing. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into it.
I mean, the topics sound really, really good.
Yeah, we're gonna get into a lot of it. I want to bring guests on, and that's. I mean, I love the workshop. I think we should probably do more in Long Island.
I think so too. Because not only, I mean, true, you would have to have a car, but the parking is like if people come from Long Island or whatever into the city, a lot of people had problems finding parking in the city.
Yeah, and to be
But over
honest,
here, we had a parking space and everything.
when the physical flyers were made, like, why would I just send them out to the Bronx, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens? Like, why would I do that when they might not?
Right. They probably won't.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And especially it was raining.
Oh my God. It was like
So if
torrential
you live in
rain.
Manhattan and you know you don't drive because you don't need to,
Mm-hmm.
then the
You're not coming.
train, there's
Right.
some of these things that you might not want to. But so if we were having the venue, like we had the venue over there, so we put flyers in there.
Out
We
there,
had the
exactly.
billboard in New York City,
In Times
Times
Square.
Square.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense that the event's gonna be the venue is gonna be in Long Island.
Yeah.
That just for the flyers and people in Long Island and businesses. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? So
It was a great spot that we
yeah.
got.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I felt more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I controlled the whole room. The other spot, like
We
it
weren't
was
rushed.
smaller, 2 hours. We had a party after us.
Yeah.
And I was just up there moving back and forth. Couldn't move up and down. The projector was right there in the
Yeah.
podium. You know what I'm saying? Whereas here it was so much open space.
Yeah. It was
Like I was
nice.
in the audience. I was sitting in the back with
Mm-hmm.
the red beam
The
with the
clicker too. Yeah.
presentation clicker. Like, you know, I was in the front. I was with the crowd. I was at the podium. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I was in my element. I was in my bag.
And the way you came out,
Yeah,
like the
like
way you
what?
opened, that was great.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it.
Just
We can't wait to start for season 11.
yeah, yeah.
This is like, it kind of took us a minute in the beginning. We were like, oh, what are we doing right
Damn,
now?
it
I was like,
does
are we doing a show right now? What are we doing?
does feel like a while.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I feel like, now that we're ending, I feel like I'm back I could pick it up quicker now.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. All right. Yeah,
Thanks
man,
for
I don't
tuning
even
in.
do my spill. Not because it's not a show. I really forgot. You know what I'm
We got to go
saying?
back and,
So now I gotta
read
do
our
my
notes.
spill discipline therapy, you know, serving you your dose. I gotta get into that again.
I did it once.
Yeah. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.